It is my pleasure to introduce our 2022 student speaker. With an unbridled curiosity that's on par with the students he has taught in the past, the man that Dwight Rogers has become can be traced back to his humble beginnings in Brooklyn. His parents passed down the value of hard work and the importance of family, while his years in the Air Force helped to mold him into the leader that he is today. His curiosity and desire to do more made him a natural fit for a doctoral program. He thrived during his time in the Doctor of Education and Educational Leadership program. As you'll hear in a moment, Dr. Rogers succeeded despite what the statistics may say. As he moves forward in life, his desire to give back to the communities around him increases. Like many educators before him, his success is measured by the success of those around him. Please welcome Dr. Dwight Rogers.
I would like to thank Dr. Heidi Fernandez for such a wonderful introduction. I'm truly humbled by your words. Good evening, family, friends, faculty, staff, alumni, and the resilient class of 2021-2022. Again, my name is Dwight Rogers, and I would like to say thank you for providing me with such a huge honor. Please indulge me as I tell you a story. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, at current levels of incarceration, a black male in the United States today has a greater than 1 in 4 chance of going to prison during his lifetime, while a Hispanic male has a 1 in 6 chance and the white male has 1 in 23% chance of serving time. I defended my dissertation in August of 2021, and due to the pandemic, was unable to have an in-person graduation ceremony. As you know, the pandemic caused many setbacks for people, but for some, these setbacks were actually a setup for future success for others. This brings me to today's theme of aspire, believe, and achieve. I come from a family where 4 black boys grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, New York. We were raised by, that's right, Brooklyn. We were raised by both parents who loved us very dearly. So again, 6 of us in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, yeah. Our family was a very patriarchal household. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. My father went to work as a machinist every day. My father was a very stern man with a very strong work ethic. As far back as we can remember, he was always working on something around our apartment or off to work. Dwight Rogers was his name, and with a name like that, now I understand why he went by the name of Roger. What I didn't understand was why he wanted to give us one of us the same name. My mother Lily once told me that she stood her ground when it came to giving me that name, but my younger brother, Dwight Jr., he lost that battle. I say all of this to paint a picture that I come from very humble beginnings. For a kid from Brooklyn, there was only one way to go, and that was up. I aspired to achieve better in my life, but to be honest, I didn't have a clue as what that would entail. Growing up in the projects in the 70s was, as I remember, a wonderful experience. I had plenty of friends, lots of love within my family circle, and life was fairly simple. There were 4 6-story apartment buildings in my quad, and about 100 yards away was another 4 buildings inside of a connecting quad. I had friends in each of the buildings within the quad, and we grew to be a very tight group. Saturday mornings were the best. We would eat breakfast and go outside and play until we were hungry again. Sometimes my mom would have to call me inside to eat because I had too much fun. I didn't want to go inside. I would often bring friends over, and my mother would shake her head in laughter and say, "Stop bringing those hungry kids over to my house." My mother was the type of person who would feed the world if she could, but without limited resources, that just wasn't our reality. I have 3 brothers who are the light of my life, and contrary to the statistics, we are all very successful in life and in our careers. They were instrumental in helping me believe that I can become more than my own limited thoughts. Coaching, mentoring, inspiring, and loving me to be the best version of myself is what they do for me. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I feel that without the love and support of my circle, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So who am I? Dwight is the father to 2 beautiful human beings, my daughter Imani and my son Malik, son to two of the best parents possible, brother, and one day, husband to that wonderful, beautiful wife, lovely lady over there. Outside of that, I'm an educator, advocate, and servant. My mother always told me that the higher I aspired to climb in life, the more I would have to serve. And she was right. As Director of Student Services in the city of Upland, I served that community proudly for 13 years. After losing my mother, I realized that life was passing me by and it was my time to grow. After a failed marriage, my kids moving out and on to college, I felt that it was my time to become someone different. Two of my three brothers reside in Northern California, so in January of 2018, I decided to be like LeBron and take my talents elsewhere. Even then, I had no clue what I was going to do, but nervously excited about the opportunity. I served as an assistant principal for 3 years before becoming a principal of a K-8 school in Northern California. And let me tell you, I learned more than I taught. Never feeling like any of these places were a great fit for me, but in reality, they were. These schools were actually grooming me for what was to come. In 2019, I decided to go back to school to complete my doctoral degree. 10 years prior, I started a program at another school, but because of life circumstances, I stopped going. With over 45 units under my belt, I was unable to transfer any of those classes to any of the colleges because the school wasn't accredited. I had no idea what I was going to do. Then I stumbled across an ad for Trident University, and a light went off. I spoke with an admissions counselor, and I felt optimistic and comfortable about my chances for completing the program. I was only able to apply 2 classes towards my degree in educational leadership, but it gave me the motivation I needed to get started. Trident was truly a blessing to me, and to the staff at Trident who tolerated my many questions and my abuse, I want to say thank you. During this time, the world was also facing a COVID-19 crisis. Even then, this became a time for many to do a lot of self-reflection and what was important in life. I was one of those many people who were self-reflecting. With communities on lockdown, working from home becoming the new norm, I decided to double up on my classes and graduate as quickly as possible, or finish as quickly as possible. In August of 2021, I successfully defended my dissertation with a Jeep and graduated with a 3.95 GPA. That's right. Here I would like to publicly thank my dissertation chair, Dr. Elena Van Herden, committee members Dr. Pamela Wilson and Dr. James Hodges for their guidance and toughness throughout this process. This was indeed the toughest program that I've ever been in and toughest thing I've ever done academically in my life, and I am so grateful and humble for their support. Achieving this goal has been very surreal, a black kid from Brooklyn getting his doctorate degree in educational leadership. I didn't even graduate high school on time. School was difficult for me to navigate. Because of discrimination I faced and I personally went through, I just stopped going. But I guess that was also part of the larger plan. I recall standing in my living room one day thinking to myself, one day somebody's going to call my name and I'm going to walk across the stage. And today, here I am. Once upon a time, I aspired to be more than what I was, except I didn't know what I wanted to be. It wasn't until I started to believe in myself and surround myself with others who also believed in me when things started taking shape. What I have achieved is nothing if I do not continue to pour back into others as others have poured into me. As I mentioned earlier, I was able to accomplish more in 4 years than I did in 15. In the last 4 years, I became an assistant principal, completed my doctorate program, and now a principal. My goal is to one day become a superintendent, and I feel that with life shaping up the way it is, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Question I ask of all of you is to take an inventory of your life and ask yourself, what are your life experiences grooming you for? I'll close with a couple of quotes. The first one comes from Gandhi. Your beliefs becomes your thoughts become your words become your habits become your values, and your values determines your destiny. Mike Norton once wrote, the true measure of a person is not what they dream, but what they aspire to dream, but what they aspire to be. A dream is nothing without action. Whether one fails or succeeds is irrelevant. All that matters is that there is motion in your life. That alone affects the world. To the graduating class of 2021-2022, I want to say congratulations to a job well done. Just know that the best is yet to come. Thank you.
Here, come over here real quick. Dr. Rogers, thank you so much for that inspirational story. I really appreciate it, and congratulations today. On behalf of Trident University, we have a small token of our appreciation. Hold on.